Jumping in. Hello, everybody. You're watching / listening to the McAllister Hours. I'm your host, as always, Cole McAllister. Joined today by old friend Aimz. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. Same old shit. Different week. Trying to savor up the last. My old ass is in school still, so I'm trying to savor up the last reminiscence of summer.
Sure.
But yeah, man, we're just here chilling, Molly. I'm so sorry. Do you mind turning off that fan really quick? I always forget something when we start the podcast. So you and I have we talked about this on the podcast before, but you and I have gone back years and years and years and known each other for a while.
Yeah.
You have just released a new project at the end of the day. Tell me what all went into that, and what's the background? I think you worked with a new producer, you said.
Yeah. So actually, I ended up working with a guy that graduated from high school, and we didn't really know each other super well in school. I didn't really talk or hang out much, my roommate actually makes music with him as well, and they like to make metal. And I mean, he's an amazing guitarist. Production quality is fantastic. But my roommate told me that he had planned on producing for a bunch of other people. So as soon as I heard about that, I wasn't doing anything at the moment. I had been working on a project. Nothing. I didn't have all the details mapped out or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Nothing specific. But yeah, so I, started doing some writing the year before, and I just had a bunch of material to work with. I hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, man, let's make some music."
Hell yeah. Yeah, because this was your first project in, 2 years, you said?
Yeah, yep, because Truth, Trials, Tribulations came out in 2019, okay. January 1st, 2019, so.
Okay. So, I before, we get into this, I want to say right off the bat, really impressive work.
Thanks, man.
You're one of the few people I know that can really, stack an album, full, you have so much coming out of you, every song you have, it's a solid sound, solid however many amount of bars, and you're really filling it up. A lot of people, if they want to fill up that time, they have to have features, or
sure.
They get repetitive. But you have you have a lot of material. When you look at you're looking at you, we just did a recording a month ago.
Yeah.
And seeing you with your book, and you got all you got the fucking Bible of verses there right there for you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Podcast is getting crazy.
You'll settle down, man.
Yeah. I'm really excited. No, but you do the amount of content that you have is really impressive. So
sure. Well, and that's always kind of one thing that I kind of try and pride myself on, is just trying to be prepared. And even if I don't really have an exact idea of what I'm going for, or anything slated, I try to come prepared so that if I need to, I can make that happen, kind of just with all the material that I have. So I like to stay ready and be prepared,
Yeah, that's a really important thing, especially when you're in a studio with time.
Sure.
We had this conversation with the guest last week. It kind of depends on the person. Some people like to clip it and kind of do one bar, one bar, one bar, one bar. I always prefer going in. I feel like if you have it memorized and you really know what's going into it, you're just gonna have a better product.
I can't say that I have my shit memorized. That's kind of, I think, next level, or something to work towards.
It's hard, man. It's hard to keep that all in your head.
It is, especially if you do write a lot, or you have a lot of material. You can get kind of in your head about at least I get in my head about all the songs and all the material I have. So it can be kind of daunting to think about memorizing everything before I actually know how the song is going to sound. Or
yeah,
I think that's one of the main reasons I don't memorize it, is because I'm still figuring out how I want everything to sound before I actually finish the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I find it easier to perform or memorize it when you've like heard it recorded and
Sure.
played it back to you.
Yeah, I completely agree, actually. And yeah, I mean, now when I go back and listen to previous songs I've made, it's definitely, it's in my head. You know, I've got it in there, and I can kind of rap or sing along to it. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you got to know what the project is or what the song is and how you want it to sound before you, can let it play out the way it needs to.
Yeah, and I think when somebody does what you do and waits a while and really lets everything settle, you can tell that in the product.
Sure.
But you kind of, I mean, for you it's kind of ambiguous, but what is kind of the meaning behind the project at the end of the day?
So, it's kind of one of those, I don't want to kind of brush it off as like a cliche, but it's kind of up to interpretation, in a sense that, we're all kind of on our own path, we're all doing our own thing, and it's kind of your job to listen to it and decide where you're at maybe in life, or maybe you're able to find a way to relate to what I'm talking about or where I'm at this point in my life. But yeah, it's kind of just one of those things that there is no, exact answer. There's, because the phrase at the end of the day, it actually gets used so much, and it's used to define so many different situations or feelings or, emotions. And that's like kind of the best way to describe at the end of the day. So it's kind of just one of those things you have to see for yourself, man.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I find myself with the joint. Not that that's
nice. Well, hey, man.
Maybe we can do a combo album, do part 2, and it'll just be me smoking, just
sitting there in the back, just hanging out. I mean, hey, man.
What? How would you compare? Because it's kind of similar, but there's also some differences in the beats that were done by J Raz and this guy. What would you say are some of the differences and similarities that you had in both the sound of those albums and recording those projects?
Well, so my buddy's name Reed, and actually shout out to Reed. He doing some really great shit now. He's got his own page and everything, Reed Warman Music. So shout out to him. Well, I guess I would say as far as writing goes, for me personally, the process was relatively the same.
Yeah.
Go through beats that I, can find, whether it's instrumentals, type beats, whatever, and try and get different flows, different feelings, different emotions, and, try and change it up a little bit. And then, as far as the beats and everything, I mean, I downloaded some really, shitty beat making app on my phone, and I think I started kind of messing around on it sometime in 2020 when I was kind of writing a lot of this project, and I think I had 4 or 5 at the time, and we didn't have a clear idea of exactly what we wanted to do yet. So I sent him these 4 or 5 beats, and I was like, hey man, let me know what you think of these beats. Tell me if you like them, if there's something you can do, that'd be really cool. So I sent him the beats, and he immediately got back to me and was like, honestly man, I can recreate these beats, but I could add my own flavor, I could do my own thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, he took these, kind of mediocre beats that I gave him, and he turned them into these amazing, very sonically enhanced masterpieces, and I have to give him a lot of credit.
That's crazy.
He doesn't really listen to rap. Rap's not his thing. He's heard a couple of projects. You know, he's heard like Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon. You know, likes a little bit of Biggie, but he really doesn't have that much rap influence. He's more of a metalhead, or, you know, kind of into that scene. So it was kind of, I was very unsure of how everything was going to turn out, because, you know, here I've got this buddy of mine who is coming from a completely different background, and, you know, I'm always heavily influenced by rap and hip hop and a gang of other, you know, styles and everything. And no, it just came together really well. I mean, he really pulled it off. He impressed me. And as far as comparing to Truth, Trials, Tribulations, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some similar themes in, you know, kind of what I'm talking about, or what I'm getting at, but I can't compare them that much, because I'm at, you know, it's like two different points in my life.
That makes sense.
You know, so, you know, yeah, it's like on one hand the process is similar, but on the other hand, it came together in a completely different way that I was not expecting.
That's I find it really cool that it just seems like such a, you know, kind of odd roundabout way to make a hip hop album, you know. A guy coming from a different genre and, like, you know, doing it in a different way. Do you know what DAW he used? Like, what kind of program he was using to recreate that?
Yeah, he uses, I want to say he uses Logic.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's a common one. I always, you know, I think we've had this conversation, but I live in Tab Ableton.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I mean, shit, J-Ras always uses Pro Tools.
Yeah.
So, kind of like two different worlds, and, you know, creating these two different projects. I mean, you know, they've got some similarities, but at the end of the day, very, very different as well, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. When you write, because, you know, like I said before, you have, you know, such a crazy amount, you know, of content. Like,
sure.
How often are you writing? Like, how much do you write? Do you have like a set time that you're doing it throughout the week, or is it sporadic, or what's your process?
I guess I would say as of late, I've definitely been writing a lot more. I'd say nowadays it's probably like at least 4 to 5 nights a week I like to write. And actually I just bought a little recorder so I can record, you know, when I'm freestyling and shit and I'm messing around.
Oh, okay.
So
that's tight.
I can get more content, more lyrics, you know, things that come off the top of your head may be something that you could write in, you know, use to write. Or
so that's bypassing you writing it down. That's just, it's like almost like a new form of writing.
Yeah, so I'm still doing my writing. I'm still writing all my verses and everything, but I've just got this as like another form of lyrics or, you know, content. But as far as writing goes, normally when I am writing, like I said, I'll find beats, and then I'll kind of write like a verse at a time. And I also will sometimes just like put on other kind of beats that I can make hooks for. And even though, like I said, it's like they may be these random beats, but, you know, the emotion and the words still mean the same thing. It's just all how you interpret it on the song that you want to put them on. So that's how I look at it. I take all these verses that I have written from all these random songs and beats, and I piece them together to make a song.
Damn.
So that's kind of how my style or my system works the best for me, is I'm able to kind of pick and choose my flavors.
Yeah. It seems like you're taking things and kind of plugging them together.
Yeah. And even if they don't necessarily work right off the bat, then maybe I can write something to mesh them together, or I can pick something new.
Yeah. I think it's kind of it was funny that when we did the recording session a little back, because you know, like, because like when I write in the sense of like bars. Like I write a line, I think of that as a bar, and like that's not criticism to you. That's just like just your style.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was funny when we were recording. There was like that last little bit, and you're like, throw something at me. I was just like, suck my dick, and that was how.
Yeah. Well, and
just because you need that little bit more.
That last little bit. So yeah, I used to be a little bit better and a little bit more organized as far as, you know, going like bar for bar, but it's kind of just one of those things that, you know, like we did it during the recording. If I have to, then I'll just throw something together on the fly and try to make it work.
Well, what were your impressions of that experience for you, me, Lil Babyface? Because me and him go back a couple years. He's a talented individual when it comes to all that.
That was actually really cool. He definitely seems to know his shit. And, you know, I was thoroughly impressed. So I'm actually really hoping to, you know, hear his thoughts and opinion on the album and, you know, maybe what it means to him. And honestly, I'd like to work with him at some point in the future. That'd be really cool.
Hell yeah.
He's good shit.
Hell yeah. And, you know, that's what I love about doing all this. I feel like seeing you guys like work together, like sitting back there and like seeing you guys like, you know, like record and you're spitting, and he's like vibing off you. And, like, I was just sitting there like, oh damn, chill.
It was a lot of fun, man.
And then I was way too vibed out to go to record. It was my whew, damn. Okay.
Hey man,
time to get to it.
Sometimes when you're in the studio, fucking things can get real, you know, fun and kind of lose yourself sometimes.
Exactly. Get real cozy and vibe.
That's the point, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, man. And, you know, I always tell people, like, you're one of the OGs. Like, you're like, probably what, 5-6 years ago?
At least.
I think it's probably how long we knew each other. And yeah, I think you were the first feature I ever had.
Oh, really? No shit?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did it in the little closet. I remember that.
I do remember that. Hey, man. Turned out pretty well.
Yeah. Hey, cheers.
Cheers to that.
Fuck yeah. What do you have anything else going on music wise? Do you have any future prospects now that this project's under your belt? Are you taking a break or?
No, actually, yeah, I do not plan on being gone again. That whole 2-year hiatus was I think kind of just me. I was, you know, working a lot, doing a lot of thinking, and not really sure what to do next or how to take it. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, we dropped Truth, Trials, Tribulations, and we did not promote it. We didn't go out of our way to tell everyone about it. And it wasn't like we were embarrassed or felt bad or, you know, anything like that. It really, I think we realized that it was more like meant for us. Mm-hmm. And so it was like cool that some people still listen to it or that, you know, someone can go back and enjoy it. But no, I kind of just reached a point where I was like, I can't just like sit here and not do anything with music. And then I kind of figured it had been long enough. So to answer your question, yes, I have been doing a lot of writing, collecting a lot more material, and I actually plan on working with JRAS again. We had originally planned on releasing an EP, but it never happened. Well, you know, obviously, like, pandemic happened, mm-hmm. So that kind of threw things off, and we both got busy. So we didn't get the chance to finish this, like, 4 or 5 song EP we had planned, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah. Because it was pretty much finished. But no, so JRS and I actually linked back up now recently, and the goal now is to sift through all of the material that we do have and all the songs that we have, and kind of start putting some projects together. So I've got that going, and then actually Reed and I are actually going to get together for a second follow-up album. But this one we want to be more organic. So this one we want to come up with the beats, you know, kind of together, or, you know, he'll come up with beats or whatever. And this one we're just going to, you know, kind of create from scratch. I'm not going to send him anything. This one's going to be like, you know, fully, you know, from the ground up. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I've got that going on, and I got a shit ton of other stuff coming up too. So I'm actually really excited.
Fuck yeah. It sounds like you have a lot of backlogged like stuff that you're just kind of brimming, like waiting to be released.
Yeah,
that's exciting, man. I love that.
Well, and I mean, it's a little bit upsetting because, you know, it's like some of this music that J-Ras and I have been sitting on, you know, we've been sitting on some like really good shit for, you know, since like 2016, 2017. So some of these songs that I think that we're planning on like finishing and still releasing are like, you know, 4 or 5 years old now at this point. But the cool thing is, like, lyrically and musically, I still feel like it's still very, you know, real. It's still very applicable to what shit that's going on now. So that's exciting, dude. I'm really excited to throw together this next album, and probably a couple EPs. I don't have any dates or you know, time in mind, but
you got stuff working.
Yeah, it's working, man, and you know, I'm glad that we got to get together to work together again. That was fun.
Fuck yeah.
I'm hoping, you know, to do more with some more people and branch out there, man, you know?
Hell yeah, man. Well, hey, you know, if you ever want to beat or anything, I always got shit cooking.
Hell yeah.
Most of the time. Now that I'm coming into school, I might be a little busier, but I always got, you know, like you, I got stuff locked away in the vault, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the beauty about hip-hop, is, like, it's timeless. You know?
100%.
Like, have you heard of that, the Wu-Tang album that, like... Oh, geesh. Damn, he's going crazy. Take a shit?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Goddamn dog. No, but Wu-Tang, there was an album that Wu-Tang made, and it was only for one person. They sold it to like some guy who I think he's actually in prison now.
I remember that. Yeah.
The world won't hear it for like another like 40, 50 years or some shit like that. After we're probably dead.
That's wild. Can you imagine being able to hear that shit? No one else has heard. I mean, I think that's what's like really awesome about making music is, you know, you don't have to share everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot of stuff that I have now, like even on my phone, that like very few people have ever heard. And that's like the beauty of music, you know, is you can enjoy it. And then when you feel like it's time for everyone to enjoy it, you can make that shit happen. It's like one of the best things and one of the coolest things that music does for you. At least, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no. And, you know, it's all encompassing. It's all interpretive, you know.
Exactly.
It all is just, it's purely what you make of it.
Yeah.
I can just imagine if that guy listened to that Wu-Tang album, he's just like, it's all right.
He didn't look like a motherfucker who would enjoy that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yo, man, why are you keeping...
I found some of the lyrics a little distasteful.
What a selfish asshole.
Yeah. Why don't you buy the new Strokes album, you fucking cunt? No dissing the Strokes, but... What do you think about this shit happening in Afghanistan, man? You have an opinion?
No,
Do you
really.
have opinions?
I mean, shit's heavy, man. It's some very heartbreaking shit going on over there, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's just it's one of those things that I don't have much of an opinion on. And it's not to say that I don't care, you know. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I know you're thinking you probably don't care, but no, I mean, I honestly, I don't really know what to think of it. It's just kind of a fucked up situation, man. I mean,
no, it really is.
What can you do?
Yeah, well, you know, in my opinion, I think honestly we should have, we should have never really been there to begin with.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, the scary thing is that there are people still there. They're trying to get everything out. It's just, it's a disaster. I'm a crazy person. And I think about this stuff too much. So.
Sure. Well, hey, man. I mean, it's all about balance.
Yeah. Well, I kind of struggle with that sometimes.
Who doesn't?
I think everyone does. Yeah. Exactly.
Who doesn't, man?
Exactly.
Balance is a bitch.
Yeah, well, and especially I think when you're in the world of podcasting, like, you gotta find something to talk about. And 60% of the time, it's the bullshit that's going on, you know?
Right. Yeah.
It's so hard to stay away from, this social media grab and, like, the attention, the constant attentiveness that is, gripping all of us, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that as soon as you get on, it's just immediately like kind of thrust in your face, kind of shoved down your throat. And there's a lot of stuff going on that I tend to remove myself from, just because of the way that it's shown, or the way that so many people on social media interpret things, so many opinions.
Everyone's opinion all at once, essentially.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of like an overload for me, man. And I tend to, like I said, kind of shut down and try to stay out of that shit, man, because it I don't know, kind of messes with me sometimes, mentally. Yeah, no, you can definitely get lost in all that pretty easily. Kind of get bogged down a little bit thinking about all the shitty things going on that we do know about, that we don't know about. Yeah. Well, and ultimately you have to ask yourself, like, how much control of this do I really have, Yeah. And usually it's none. Yeah, exactly. Most of the time. Yeah. Oh, gosh. So you're a big proprietor of video games. I don't mean to get in this tangent, but you like them. What have you been gaming on lately? I've been killing Hitman 2. That's been like, shit. I've been thinking, like, the new one. Well, newer, not newer. Hitman 3. Oh, sure. The second one, the one that came out 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah. I'm at the unhealthy stage where I'm like at work and I'm like thinking about ways to like to take them down, take down your targets. Yeah. No, dude, Hitman's a shit. My favorite Hitman game probably ever is Hitman Blood Money. Okay. PS2 shit was classic. I haven't played very many of the new Hitman games, but my roommate has talked them up, so I know at some point I need to check them out. It's like almost dangerous for me though, because I feel like it's something that I'm already just spending way too much time on it. Oh, sure. Because I can't imagine these people, because I used to want to be a computer programmer. Oh, shit. That was like something I went to school for about a year. And I didn't do it because I realized eventually that it's almost like just being like a really well-paid factory worker. You're there for like 50, 60 hours a week. You're just like fucking like. And how much time? How much credit are they really going to give you? That's the shitty thing is like. Well, and how much do you even contribute to it overall? Like that much? Yeah, right. But no. Lately, at least recently, I actually just got this game, Neo 2. It's like a Dark Souls-esque type of game, and it's actually really dope. You play a samurai that you can actually customize. It's like a cool new feature they added to this one. But yeah, no. So you're a samurai that's like half demon, and in like that culture they call demons like yokai, and they have very many names. But yeah, you're like this half yokai person. You can transform into a demon and shit. But I mean, it's like the enemies are grueling, the bosses are devastating. I mean, it's one of those games that you can spend hours kind of gaining points to try and level up, and then you can lose it in an instant. And
yeah, I don't play those games.
It's frustrating. I mean, when you finally beat a boss that you haven't been able to beat forever, the payoff is like almost orgasmic, man. You know.
I was gonna say, it's like injecting heroin. You're just like,
it's just like it's kick ass, dude. I mean, honestly, no, it's really fun. But that's kind of what I've been playing lately, and that's probably what I'll play later. I don't know.
So is that what you spend a lot when you talk about, like, you know, distracting yourself? Is that kind of what you do mostly? Is like just gaming and or rapping? I should say.
No, I know what you mean. No, I like to play games every once in a while, but I also like to get into TV shows and movies and anime and shit, and cook a lot of shit. I know how you feel about anime, so I threw that in there as a jab, Coleman.
More of a jab to Molly. I applaud the people that create the anime shows, but whoever's doing the fucking music, they need to get their shit together.
For what shows?
Any of them. They all suck.
Hey man, I can think of some great anime with some great music.
Oh no, those title sequences, man, like it's just such like a whole like.
Some of them are definitely a fucking clusterfuck, but hey man, I think that's like sometimes what makes the fans really enjoy it is the title sequence, man.
Yeah, I just missed out on that completely. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, anime is definitely one of those things that you have to watch it to let it grow on you. I mean, because I know I can think of a lot of people who don't like anime, who say anime sucks, but
did you watch it? Like, is that something you watched when you were younger? Or did you get into it later?
I maybe like caught shit here and there on like Toonami and stuff late at night, when they played Naruto and I caught glimpses and stuff. But no, I mean, I think I was also on that train of like, oh, anime is like way over the top. It's ridiculous. And, the people who watch anime are like, I don't know, lame asses. And nah, dude, I mean, like, that's like probably what my, original idea was, because everyone kind of ostracizes people who watch anime until you actually watch anime, and then you're like, damn, this is actually pretty good. This is pretty dope. So I don't know. I think that's like a common misconception with people who like anime and people who watch anime is they're watching some dope shit, and we just we're fucking making fun of them for what, liking good stuff. But I mean, everyone has their taste and everyone has their likes. So.
To each his own. Yeah. I've been really impressed. One of the things that I've learned about that's impressed me over the last couple of years is like how much different anime there is. I always kind of assumed it was a very like small box. I didn't not even as many shows as I thought there was, and like that's the thing, like the amount of episodes like per like thing. I don't even understand how people have the time to like. Molly has this like scratch up poster of like all these anime she's gonna get to, and it's like 100. It's probably like 150 episodes.
Dude, yeah, I've got some.
How do you do that, man?
I mean, yeah, I've definitely got some shows on my list. But it's hard to find time. I mean, the episodes are short, but there's so much material, so many plots, so many genres. Like you said, like there's just so much that I can understand why some people don't get into it, because there's so much to fucking tackle or like to think about. Yeah. Especially when choosing and picking what you think may be good and what may be interesting.
Yeah, I like Akira a lot because it's just the movie. Yeah. I know I have one of the volumes, and like I know it's like in itself like a very expansive
universe.
thing. Yeah, universe and like story, and like I know the movie only has a fraction of it, but I don't know. Yeah, but like I can't even like binge watch like shows really. Like I listen to podcasts and I can watch movies sporadically, but I just can't do the whole like Sopranos.
The commitment.
I've been able to binge watch The Sopranos a little bit this summer, but like even that I can only because there's like hour-long episodes. I can only do 2 or 3 at a time and I'm done. I can't do it all day.
Yeah, it's the time. I mean, shit. The time nowadays, it's hard to find time to binge things anymore, or commit all this time to like this TV show or these characters. So it's a balance, man. You gotta find time when you do, and focus when you're not. Yeah,
it all kind of seems, not to get dark here, but it all kind of seems to be spinning to a whole of like just endless content.
Yeah,
I mean, sadly,
it is, dude. There's a lot of shit that you're never gonna see.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of good shit that you're never gonna know about. And like the only way to figure that out is to go in there and dig through the thousands of titles and the thousands of TV shows and the thousands of episodes, and that in itself is already way too much,
Yeah, exactly.
To think about.
It's like those apps, There's a local pod, not from Des Moines, they're somewhere in Iowa. They're called the Confused Breakfast Podcast, and their whole shtick is like, remember going, back in the 80s and 90s to the video stores and looking down the aisles, like you remember thinking about movies in that way, and now you sit in front of your TV and you have like 200 titles at your disposal, and you're like, oh, these all look the same.
That's true.
Even though like there's probably some really, really, really good movies in that selection, they're all put in the same place.
I mean, that's thinking about that is an interesting point, because that was during a time when you'd go in there with your family and you'd search through all these fucking movies, and maybe you and your sister, or you and your brother, whatever, or it's just you pick some shit, your mom picks some shit, your dad picks some shit, and then you guys all sit down as like a family. And I just remember, like, for me, my experiences, like, that's what it was us going, we look through, we find some shit, and then my mom picks some family, just some like really like, oh, I love my family type movie, and makes us sit down and watch it. And it's like inevitably, like obviously we're gonna say it's a good movie, and we're gonna enjoy it, but first you're like, I don't want to watch the movie that she wants us to watch. We want to watch Shrek or some shit. I don't know. So, but that's like, I don't know. That's the thing, is watching movies and like going to the movies used to be a thing, and now it's just like some fucking, like it's like smoking a cigarette or something. It's just like that easy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things that I just feel like it's taken for granted.
Oh yeah.
And we don't like enjoy that shit like we used to anymore.
Yeah. Well, we have HBO Max, and that's, I don't know about I know the other apps do too, but like that seems to be one of the main ones that like a lot of the blockbuster movies, we're going to still are going to theaters, but they're premiering on HBO.
Yeah.
And every time I see that, I'm just like, that's kind of nice, but at the same time I'm like, fuck, that whole like, you think about like the 90s blockbuster, like how big of a deal that was, like, or like Star Wars, how people would be like crowding the blocks.
Yeah.
Like, now it's all right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could go to fucking Dollar General and just be watching the new King Kong movie or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's like in itself, that's a crazy concept. You do that shit anywhere now.
Yeah. There's a video store it's called Video Warehouse, right, Molly?
Not anymore.
Oh, did it close down? Oh, that's too fucking bad. I mean, not surprised, but
yeah,
damn. Cause that was like an old school fucking place. It's like, talking about like walking down the aisles and shit.
Yeah. There was a really cool place in Waukee when I lived in Waukee years ago. There was a place that had like games you could rent and shit. And that was awesome, you know, like going there and you could rent like GameCube games, PS2 games, you know, just the classic shit. I mean, they might have even had, you know, some like 64. So that was really cool. You know, it's like another thing that is like such an ancient concept now. Of
GameStop.
Renting games and shit. Yeah, GameStop. I mean, yeah, everyone used to be so committed to GameStop, and now...
They were really committed for a little bit there, right?
Yeah.
This last little bit.
I mean, even now, like, I can't, I don't go to GameStop anymore, dude. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's weird and eerie. You hear all those, like, horror stories about the people that worked there. Like, how awful it was.
And how they're forced to literally shove video games down people's throats.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, oh, do you want to buy this? You want to check out this? Like, nah, man. I came in here for one thing, and I'm getting in and I'm going.
Yeah, dude. The GameStop people, they were like Mormons trying to sell you a Bible. They were like, hey, get this, and you get this plan, and you get this.
I'm not buying what you're selling, okay? I don't need that shit.
This. I want this.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually like a really good point. It's like, no, I mean, if I wanted that shit, I'd already have that stuff. And I mean, I get it. I know that's like your job, but
yeah, it's a grind, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the state of video games, you know, Steam and all that. But like, just think, like, in 20, 30 years, the idea of a game console might be, you know, that might be stupid.
Yeah.
You know, people might just be doing it in their fucking head, for all we know.
Be a hell of an imagination, I'll tell you that much. Shit. Be impressive.
Well, yeah. Well, what's that? I can't think of it. There's something from a movie where like they can do that, but it's like the watches, you know. You got the iWatch. That was like something in a movie. You know?
Or yeah, like some Spy Kids type shit.
Exactly.
Where you're just like in the actual fucking video game.
Inspector Gadget type stuff. You remember that guy?
Oh yeah. 100%. No, the old Inspector Gadget movie.
Yeah.
With Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, Matthew.
Classic, man.
Go, Matty.
That was a fucking classic, dude.
Fuck yeah. Those, and you know, going back to like, you know, renting movies, they don't make movies like that. Like, there's just like a certain aesthetic when a movie is made in the 2000s, like that first decade. You're like, you know that this is a movie from that.
Oh yeah, 100%, absolutely.
It's crazy.
No, I mean, and everything. It's like everything nowadays is just, let's remake this. Let's do this again. And it's like, man,
China really likes it, you know.
That concept is so played out. Like, my roommate and I talk about this all the time. Like, a lot of that stuff is just the nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of the shit that we used to watch or that we loved wasn't even that good, but we cling to it because of that nostalgia and that, like, the memories we get from watching it or what we think about. But shit's dead, man. Like, we need new plots. We need new themes, new ideas, new stories.
Yeah, I agree. There's always something that's so infuriating when I'm talking to people and they're like excited about like the 5th installment of some crappy franchise. I'm like, come on. They can even take that same plot and make it into a different movie and that would still be better.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's like, I feel like nowadays the only thing that they can, you know, kind of have these trilogies, these epics with, or video games anymore. Like, nothing, like, I'm trying to think of the last amazing, like, groundbreaking trilogy that wasn't like from a, like, you know, it's like the new Star Wars trilogy, but it's still Star Wars. You know, there hasn't been a concept like that, or just like something that's not already been done.
Yeah.
At least that I've seen, I should say.
I feel like the one genre that I feel like is really groundbreaking right now is horror film.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the few that like there's some real innovation coming out of that genre. The Ari Aster, right? The Ari Aster movies, Hereditary. I don't know if you saw those.
Sure, yeah. I haven't seen
I still can't watch Midsommar. Like I saw the movie one time. So here's the thing: I was taking a lot of psychedelics during that time when I saw that movie, and that was actually right before my separation. And a lot of the themes in the movie were very similar to things I experienced with my ex-wife, and with psychedelics. So like, it's like some deep seated shit when I watched that movie. But Hereditary's, I haven't only seen that one twice too. There's something that's so effective about how that man like puts together a movie.
Sure.
It's so freaky.
Honestly, man, I'm not a
horror guy.
I'm just not a big horror fan guy. Like, I like, some stuff that I've seen. Some of the stuff I've seen, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's so much. Damn, I can't see. It's like I can't even remember the last thing that I saw that was like terrifying. Like, I've seen, some of the shit that I've seen is more like suspense or like just gore and just like fucked up. But yeah, I'm just not I never have really been like a big horror guy. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, that's like a genre that like will never that will like never fade away. Like, they're always going to keep coming up with like new concepts. I mean, you can always just come up with some crazy monster that murders people or whatever.
Exactly. Well, that's the beauty of the horror genre. Is like, it's a cliche in itself that can just be reused and reused.
Sure.
You can even use it in a comedic sense. I was having So me and Molly, we just watched the movie Dr. Sleep. Have you ever seen The Shining?
I have.
Or have you seen Dr. Sleep?
I have not seen that.
Okay. I wasn't a huge fan. Being a huge fan of the original Shining movie, I thought they butchered. I think what was so bad about it was like they did such a good job recreating it, but it was different actors, so it was almost like
I got you. It was just off. There's just something off about it.
Yeah, and you're just like, no, like why? Why didn't you just do something else?
Yeah.
Anyways, regardless, but I had this debate where, with someone where they were like talking, like, do you really still think those Shining movies, like that Shining movie, like holds up now? Because it is kind of like a cheesy movie, but like I argue to this day, like I truly think that was intentional. That was like an intentional aspect in the movie. Cause like Stanley Kubrick was like realizing the entirety of the horror genre, which can be very funny at times. There's some like, you ever watch those like Friday the 13th movies, like the old ones from like the early 80s and stuff. Like there's some in some of those movies you can tell that there is some comedic effect like put into there intentionally, but like there's some fucking hilarious moments in those movies because it's just so absurd, just like this guy in a mask just running around like throwing something,
that whole concept.
Exactly. Like from the very early days of horror, there's always been a comedic aspect in horror films, and I think if you want to really make an effective horror movie, you have to have that in mind.
Sure. See, that was The Shining. Like, that was another movie. It was good, but I don't know. It was like, I got to the end of the movie and I was like, okay, it's like a cool twist, but I don't know. Like, I guess I just didn't get out of it what I was hoping to get out of it.
What I did see it the first time when I was like, I think like 11, 12 maybe. It was the first horror movie I'd ever seen. The first horror movie I'd ever seen. So I feel like it had a really, intense effect on me. Maybe it would.
Sure.
Someone just watching it.
Like I said, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a good movie, and there's some really, just like cinematically beautiful scenes, but I don't know. It's like you get to the scene where he's running around in that fucking ice maze, and you're just like, what are you doing, man? I don't know. But
possessed by fear.
No, I like Jack Nicholson.
Fuck yeah, that guy's the OG. He is by far my favorite actor. Like,
period, no shit.
Period. Like, I think he's the best. There was this analysis I saw of him one time, or about him one time, where they're talking about like how he expresses anger. And like that's like the main emotion that pretty much he channels in every movie, but how he does it differently depending on the character and depending on the situation. Like, he has this entire encompassing like, I'm Jack Nicholson, I'm pissed, go fuck yourself. But depending on the character and what he's in that movie, it's different.
Sure.
Like he's such a formidable actor. He's done so many different roles. Apparently, like, you know, the reason nobody's seen anything from him is he's, you know, not doing well. He's getting old. So,
yeah.
Oh, that's probably coming soon, unfortunately. But that motherfucker's been kicking it forever. How old is Jack Nicholson? Do you mind looking that up? I'm curious. I think he's at least 85. I want to guess.
Yeah, you can't be.
Nah, I was wrong. 84.
Pretty close though.
Yeah, but he partied like a crazy fucker, so, you know. Well, you know, 80s are about that age. Yeah, look at that. Look at that fourth picture of him. Oh my god. Look at that fat fuck. Jesus. God damn. Jackie boy.
Hey man.
Hey, yeah, if you kick it like that, you know, do you want?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, man, he's Jack Nicholson. He's allowed to look however the fuck he wants, I guess. You know.
Exactly. You know, like, what do you expect? He's notorious for being like, you know, he would party with Marlon Brando, and like he was notorious for being, you know, one of the crazy LA partiers.
Sure.
You ever watch that movie Chinatown?
I don't think so.
Check that out.
Chinatown.
Yeah, that's one of his first roles. It's like, it's a staple in film noir, and he's just fantastic in that movie. Really, really good. I think you can find it on. It's probably on one of the major streaming platforms. You know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of old shit on there now.
Yeah.
Nowadays, honestly, no one watches it, but unfortunately,
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know about you, but for me, I find myself trying to watch more old things lately, because I feel like I feel like I've seen this on the internet too. Like, a lot of people are trying to just like step back and think, you know, that maybe it's a time that isn't now, so they're all watching all this old stuff. Nobody's really watching newer things.
Stuff. I kind of wish I was. There's a lot of like old movies that are still on my list that like I could easily watch, that are just readily available, but
yeah,
I just haven't taken the time to do it yet.
Yeah, well, like we were talking before, time. There's, you know, so much content, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something about those old movies that just really, it really takes you back. I like watching old Russian films.
Old Russian films?
Yeah, but it's hard because the language, I find it so soothing that it puts me to sleep. So it takes me like 5 starts to watch an old Russian movie. You know? But
I mean,
does the trick?
Whatever, whatever floats your boat, dude. I don't know. I mean, old movies, like, I like just like a lot of the classic shit. Basic shit like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And,
hell yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'd say I really like John Cusack. I like a lot of like the shit that he was in, say like late 80s, early 90s and such. Oh yeah, he's an icon from that day. High Fidelity.
I never saw that one.
That one's pretty good. Jack Black's in that too.
Oh, okay.
They actually had a TV show featuring Zoe Kravitz on Hulu called High Fidelity, and it was like a recreation of the movie, but as like a show with a female lead instead of a male lead. Kind of cool. But yeah, I just was thinking, since you said an actor that you really like, I'd put John Cusack on my list of actors that I like.
Yeah, he's a formidable actor too. Did you ever see Being John Malkovich?
Bits and pieces. I know it's like a highly like talked about film.
Oh, it's really, if you like John Cusack especially.
Well, I like John Malkovich.
Yeah.
He's good shit. I mean, they're both in Con Air.
Oh, I haven't seen that one either.
Con Air with Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage with a southern accent.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see that.
Long hair. It is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Those Nicolas Cage movies, man. There's this one, Vampire's Kiss, That's just absolutely absurd. There's just like some. Just go on YouTube and type in like "Vampire's Kiss" compilation or something.
Dude, have you? I remember actually. There was a time when I was going to Iowa State years ago. I was hanging out with my roommate at the time and like a couple buddies. I think we had smoked, and then we were just kind of vegging out, and we watched just like a compilation of like Nicolas Cage's like crazy moments. That man is just a pure meme.
That movie was probably in that compilation.
Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was. But nah, man, it's like all the faces he makes, the things he says.
Look up, Molly, if you don't mind. Look up Vampire's Kiss alphabet. Watch this scene. This scene's fucking hilarious.
I'm just imagining all of the ridiculous shots of him from this compilation years ago, and just yeah. This
you have seen this? Here, you gotta hit M. There you go.
In that file.
Yes, I suppose it should.
It should, right?
Yes.
Right? Yep.
Unless, of course, it's somehow been misfiled.
But misfiled?
Yes, misfiled. Sometimes somebody puts a document in the wrong file and then it's misfiled.
Yeah.
It makes it much harder to find.
Who? What do you mean, who?
I don't know who exactly.
You don't?
No, I don't. Whoever filed it in the first place, but for God's sakes, Peter, I am not telling you one single thing you don't already know.
How could somebody misfile something? What could be easier? It's all alphabetical. You just put it in the right file, according to alphabetical order. You know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Can you imagine just like
That's all you have to
being
do.
the director on set during the scene?
Yeah, having to try to keep it together during that. Because this movie is like it's like semi-serious, the tone of it.
Sure that you didn't.
So I feel like there's probably some nut who like. We're getting
I want to know really who did.
But there's some nut that
possibly tell you
was
that.
like, working on this movie who like was really passionate about it and was like really serious about it, and everybody else is just like, oh my god, dude, like this is not what you think it is. Yeah, I highly recommend that movie.
Oh god, yeah.
Vampire's Kiss. That's one of the funniest things ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
But-
man, that man is an enigma for sure.
He is fucking nuts. Did you ever see Leaving Las Vegas with him?
I don't think so.
So it's based, not really a true story, but the author who wrote that book basically was the main character. He like committed suicide and he was a general alcoholic. He would just like chugging down bottles. Nicolas Cage is in that movie, and he's just another example. But he's actually like really good in it. Like there's a scene where he's such a bad alcoholic. He's trying to make a deposit that he can't even like sign the check without a drink. So he like goes over to the bar and he's like begging the bartender for a vodka. And he finally gets a vodka and he goes back. He's like, oh yes. Fucking Nick Cage, man. Well, I'm like, that's how he is in real life, I'm sure. Like,
oh yeah.
The reason he was in all those shitty movies in the 2000s is, because he had no money. He spent all his fucking money.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Have you ever seen him in Next?
No, I never saw Next.
Next was actually pretty good. And it had Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel is always a beautiful woman of my dreams.
Look her up. I don't know that by name.
Jessica Biel?
Yeah.
Oh, she's married to Justin Timberlake.
Ah, the bitch. Oh, damn, she's cute. Oh, to JT, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. So what was she in? She was in that movie Next?
She was in Next. Yeah, it's like basically about he's like a magician, which is already like ridiculous, but he's like a magician, and he can see, like, I think it's like so much, like so far into the future, and it's like, I think like 30 seconds or something, 2 minutes or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, for whatever reason, he can see in the future, like a small window of time.
So the whole movie's just him.
But whenever he's with Jessica Biel, he can see further in time. So it's kind of ridiculous.
He's got that Jessica Biel power. Huh?
But it's like a cool concept, and there's actually like kind of a cool twist in it. So I won't ruin the rest, but it's not bad. Pretty good movie.
Yeah, there's something about those, those, like I said, there's something about those silly 2000 movies that just 2000s.
Yeah.
Whatever. Those movies that are, it's just fun to watch. Like,
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Whether it's like, the Final Destination, or like those, those shitty Texas Chainsaw, anything.
Yeah.
It was just done in such a way, the effects were done in such a way that was just so, it was like the end of that blockbuster period where people were still going to the movies.
God, Final Destination is just like such a ridiculous concept to me. Like, you're literally just watching a movie of people just dying in just fucked up ways. Like,
it's hilarious.
I never understood the point of that. Like, I just remember it's like there's like 18 Final Destination movies too. It's just like, oh man. Like, just imagine you're sitting in there and you're like, all right, how are we gonna kill people in this next movie? Just got like, man, we gotta step it up, people.
They're all just snorting cocaine and just thinking the most fucked up shit they can. All right, I got it. We're gonna put her mowing the lawn, and then a rock is gonna shoot out of the mower, and it's gonna stab her in the eye. And it's gonna kill her. Do you think that would ever happen? No, but we'll make it happen.
I mean, it's a meme now that no one likes to drive behind trucks with lumber. Specifically because motherfuckers died in a movie that we saw, and now we're scarred from it. So we don't drive behind trucks with pipes, or isn't that fucked up? Like, imagine like the some small movie concept has just scarred us, and now we're like, nope, never recreating that situation.
There's an entire generation before the internet that was educated from Hollywood movies. I guarantee it. It was the air, but before the internet, it was fucking what they saw in fucking Final Destination 6.
God, yeah.
Fuck, dude.
What a concept.
Yeah. Only if the world were like that today. Only
Yeah.
if. Shit. We've been going for a little bit over an hour. Ranting, rambling, all that. Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else you want to discuss, music wise, or anything that's on your mind philosophically?
Well, I guess. Damn, that's a good question.
Shoot, I'm down.
I mean, I guess I'm like. I'm just like, I guess I'd say I'm antsy. I'm so antsy because, it's like I just put this project out, but, I'm already like ready to go and ready to make the next move. But I'm kind of stuck in this spot right now. I know we've like kind of chatted a little bit about it before, but promoting your music is such a hard thing to do, like to do it successfully. And to actually have people check it out, because, I know some people who make music, and, some people will just like constantly be putting out music, and it's cool to have that content, and it's cool to, be sending it to everyone, but like it reaches a point where it's too much sometimes, like I know some people who will send music just like all the time, and like that's cool, but it just can kind of get old after a while, like you're kind of just constantly like, hey, listen to my music.
Hey, you're talking to the guy who shares his podcast to everybody every week, like
I know, but you know what I mean, like
I get what you're saying though. Like, it's hard to define the line between the grind and like at what's the point where it's annoying and where it's too much.
Right, and I mean, it's I definitely would say it's different with podcasts because it's different concepts. You got different guests. You're able to change it up. But when it's just like you constantly being like, yo, check the song out, check the song out, check the song out, check the song out.
Listen to the song again.
You know what I mean? Oh, tell your friends about the song.
Yeah.
It's hard to push your music. And so that's like kind of one thing I think I'm trying to figure out the best way to push this album. And right now I'm hoping maybe I'll try to throw together a little lyric video or two, because me and Reed have talked, and I think some people enjoy being able to see the lyrics, and maybe they can kind of understand it better. But really, I would love to make some music videos, because
that's the next step for sure.
That's the next step, man. And so that's like what I've been struggling with lately, and I've been doing a lot of just kind of racking my brain and trying to come up with ideas and things I can do to push the album without overdoing it,
Yeah, it's really hard this day and age to just stand on an album, on an album or a project of music alone. It almost feels like you have to have everything involved.
Right. You got to have the visuals and anymore, man, it's like you have to like commit time to being on social media and being like, hey,
yeah, exactly,
look what I'm doing. I'm doing a thing. I gotta record me doing a thing.
Yeah, well, Nina and I talked about this when we were recording a little while back, but yeah, it's that same thing. Like, it's being somebody who personally just doesn't really enjoy being on social media like all the time like that. Like, it's hard for me to want to remember, like, oh, hey, I have to post for the 4th time today. I have to like think of something that's interesting enough to post. Right. That's another big thing. Yeah, I just sit my ass all day and just hang out. Like, I don't have anything. I don't have 4 things to post about every day.
Yeah, and it's hard to schedule that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like some of the more unique posts I've seen are like when it's not scheduled. It's just like someone popping in and be like, hey, here's what's going on, here's what I'm doing, check it out. But that's with like people who already have success and have volumes of content or music. So it comes easy to some people, but I feel you, like, it does not come easy for me, and I don't like to spend that kind of excessive time, because it's like I already spend enough time looking at dumb shit on my phone and scrolling,
Yeah. Well, like we just said, like, competing for content, that seems to be such a hard thing to do.
Yeah, no, it really is. And there's just so much, man. There's so much. It goes back to what we were talking about with, having movies and TV shows all at your fingertips. There's so much shit to watch and do. Why is my shit any more special than the next guy's? Yeah,
I almost feel like you have to be extremely egotistical to like really get to that. Like to be, I don't know. This might be a bash to some people, but to be egotistical enough to think that you are interesting enough to
have people watch you or follow you
or to to even post like, hey, I'm doing this today, I'm eating a sandwich, like, who gives a shit? That's always what goes through my head.
Yeah.
I don't even think like, oh, I played Hitman for 5 hours today. Okay, like, well, okay. Like, I'm gonna go on the McAllister's podcast page and be like, hey guys, play Hitman with me, like.
Yeah It's hard. Some people have that shit figured out. So yeah, I don't know. That's like a big thing that I've been struggling with lately, is just trying to find how to get it out there in a way that is actually successful.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like boosting posts or paying for plays?
I haven't done it yet, but at this point, it's kind of one of those things that, what do I have to lose? I pay a little bit of money, and okay, I'm in the same fucking spot I was. I'm just down $6 or $10 that month. So that's kind of one of those things. I'm looking at it like, well, I might as well put it out there and do that. And if it doesn't pan out exactly how I want, then nothing has changed. That's
I wonder that too. It like is that what's just going to come down to, or are we just going to have to pay to play, essentially, like pay Facebook? Hey, if you want to be in this spot in the algorithm, you got paid this X amount of dollars.
Well, and honestly, like I feel like it's hard to get people that to listen to your music. You know what I mean? Like, not like I'm like saying like, oh man, none of my friends listen to my music, or like, fuck those guys. It's like, that's not what I mean. I just mean like, it's easier to promote yourself to people who don't know you, because they're more, it's more one of those things of like, oh, who is this guy?
Yeah, it's intrigued.
What's this guy about?
Yeah.
And obviously your friends are gonna, back you up if they're real with you, and all that shit. But it's nice to have those criticisms and those opinions from people that you don't know. Even if it, I don't know, even if it is negative, because I've had people tell me like, oh man, I didn't like this song, or I thought that this project was not that great, or whatever, and it is what it is. That's fine. It's not going to work with everyone, and not everyone's going to enjoy that shit. But the important thing is, like, Reed and I enjoy that shit. And the whole point is we wanted to make music for everyone to enjoy, or, we just wanted to make good music. Because it's all about making the music. Mm-hmm. That's, for me, that's what it's always been about, is the music. And yeah, would I love to make money from this shit? 100%. That'd be dope. But it's always boiled down to music is the most important, priority at this point. And I just want people to listen to my music, enjoy it, and have a good fucking time, That's like the whole reason I started doing this. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's like if I could promote it, get it out there, and eventually kind of warm up to the idea of performing and stuff, it would definitely be something I'd consider doing if the time came,
Do you, are you just kind of waiting for COVID, or you just the opportunity, or?
I think I'm trying to get just like a decent amount of material out there right now.
I see. Makes sense.
And I want people to like know the song or like know the music before I just like come out and I'm like, yo, check me out, fucking, performing and shit. Just because, like, I don't know, like, it's more fun when people actually know the songs.
Yeah.
It's like, think about when you go to a concert, if you don't know the lyrics or you don't even know what the song's about or who the artist is, like, really, it's not that interesting. I don't know. Or at least you have to watch them perform and they have to bring it and, like, get you invested and get you involved.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if I have that grit right now to just get people involved.
It's really hard to get to that point if you haven't performed, though. You know what I mean?
No, I know, definitely. But I guess I more or less just like really want to just like establish myself and
that makes sense. Yeah.
And memorize my songs. You know what I mean? That's like the other part of it is you got to know your shit. Front to back. And I don't know. It's one of those things that if and when I do perform, I want to have it planned out and like practice that shit.
Yeah, that is important to when you have that first impression. You want to know what you're doing. I've definitely seen shows where people, for whatever reason, they're too inebriated. They just don't know. They just they lip sync and whatever. And you can. I'm not even saying that those people are horrible artists or whatever, but you can tell.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you you definitely, yeah, I can tell that you're very focused on how you want to be presented. That's a very that's something that you've really thought about methodically. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I want to be perceived as someone who has a plan or like knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of, I've seen a lot of, I've been to a lot of concerts. I've seen a lot of performances, and you can, again, you know, it's like you said, you can tell with, you know, all those artists who's like really knows what they're doing, who's really like got it and they're making it happen. And then you know, you have the people who are just there for the money. You have the people who are there who just trying to have a good time, but you know, maybe they're not focusing on the performance. So it's like, I want to try and find the balance of, I know what I'm doing, I know what's going on, and I want to enjoy myself too. Because that's the other thing too, is you can't think about, I think it's bad to try and go into a performance and think about it as like a job. You know what I mean? It needs to come naturally and shit. And if it's just like, well, I have to go do this thing and then I have to do this next on my set, and it's like, nah, man, you have to fucking go there with a sense of purpose and like a feeling. And then while you're making it happen, you just gotta give into the moment and enjoy it and enjoy yourself and help everyone else enjoy the fucking moment and the time. That's how I look at it. So I 100% agree, though. I definitely, if I ever want to make it a thing, I have to start pursuing my opportunities. So,
yeah, man, it's an experience performing, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think this year I haven't really seen that much outlook on like openings for performances. I think Delta kind of, you know.
Oh yeah.
Fucked things up a little bit, but you know, once next year comes around, I'll definitely try to keep you in the loop of
definitely
things coming. And you know, we've worked together musically before, obviously, and we'll continue to do so in the future. So
yeah, there's actually gonna be a 1-day festival. It's gonna be in Des Moines in September. I had a buddy who was telling me about it last night. You heard about that?
Yeah, we've heard about that before too. Do you remember what it is?
So it's I want to say
is Earth Gang there?
Yes.
Fuck, what's it called?
And dude, actually, Mick Jenkins is gonna be there.
That's right,
which is fucking exciting.
One of the guys that we've had in the show, Dion Kelly, he's gonna be performing there.
Yeah, that's exciting. He has done quite a bit of stuff with J-Ras.
Really?
So those two know each other.
All these motherfuckers know each other now.
Yeah. So that's actually, I found this out last night that DK was gonna be on there performing, and I was like blown away because I was like, oh shit, I've met DK. He's a really chill dude.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he's super smart.
Yeah, he's a genius, man, and like, I'm just like really happy for him. That's dope. Because I remember talking to him like 3 or 4 years ago, and just like, he's a very intriguing person. I was like, who is this guy? This guy's like really cool, really smart, and you know, maybe like could learn something from this guy.
Yeah, definitely. I remember the last time I saw him, like, he told me, I was at High V because he was right around here, and I saw him at High V. He's like, hey, what's up, man? He told me that he's gonna be this thing with, you know, Earth Gang. Like, I was like, holy shit, dude. But yeah, that man's legit. I met him at a. Have you ever heard of the Writing History Project?
Yeah, isn't that something
that he's
thing. Like? Yeah.
So I met him when they were filming some of the video for that. So
okay,
they're a really cool group of guys. They all, you know, but he has a very unique perspective on the world, and you know, some things that afflict everyone, and just a really smart guy. I really hope he continues to push his voice forward and people continue to listen. He's awesome. Yeah,
he's definitely one of those that I'm talking about when I say he goes there with a sense of purpose, and he enjoys the moment and gets you to enjoy the moment. So,
really humble individual. Aimz, it's been a fucking pleasure, man. I feel like this is a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, man.
Do you have anything else you want to mention, promote, where people can find you online? We'll put descriptions, but
sure. Man. You know, True Trials Tribulations came out 2 years ago. If you want to check that out, you know, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. At the end of the day, just dropped earlier this month Also YouTube, Spotify,
Hell yeah.
iTunes, Apple Music, man. I mean, check it out.
Hell
I
yeah.
got plenty more coming.
I can personally vouch for your project. It's stacked, man. You got a lot going on.
I appreciate it, man. No, there's a lot in the works, man. So, just hopefully everyone stays tuned and listen to my music, man. Enjoy that shit.
Hell yeah. Aimz, it's been a pleasure, man. Have
Definitely,
a good night.
Take it easy.
Yeah. Next weekend, we may do a solo episode. We may not. We're going to be in the Quad Cities interviewing a close friend, Aimz.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So he's a cool guy. I'm actually going to record a track with him, and then we're going to do a podcast at their studio
Shit.
in Rock Island, Illinois. So,
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations, man. That should be fun.
yeah, so that'll be out soon. But yeah, we got a lot in the works. So
Let's make it happen, man.
hell yeah. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Have a good night.